Hi, I'm Joanna and I'm producer of the Emotional Healing Conference and the Courage to Heal Retreat. I'm here to talk to you about our yearly conference, Emotional Healing Conference, and that is going to be on the 24th of March at the Malmaison Hotel in Leeds. So that's the 24th of March at the Malmaison Hotel in Leeds. Now I wanted to talk to you about who the conference was for and what you can expect to get from the conference. Somebody just called me and says, Joanna, so what will I get from the conference? And I laughed. We both laughed because he likes to ask questions like that, and I don't mind answering. I did. So I thought, what if you had that same kind of question, but you didn't know, you don't have my number and you don't know how to call me to ask me that question. So I thought I'd answer for you as well. So on the poster, it says that the conference is for adult survivors of childhood trauma and domestic abuse. So I think I might qualify what that means, because sometimes people put childhood trauma only in the category of sexual abuse, and it's not. The Center for Disease Control, according to them, childhood trauma is an extensive list. We're going to list 10 things, right? So for example, parental separation or divorce. If your parents were separated or divorced while you were a child, that is considered a traumatic incident for you as a child. There's rejection or abandonment. Rejection it can be like a parent leaving you in one country, coming here to settle, and then you join an established home. There is the abandonment, and that can happen while you're in your family. Sometimes people experience these things and dismiss them, but it's under the surface causing great harm. There's also emotional abuse and physical abuse. There is also parental early death that you've experienced at an early age. There is parental mental health. Sometimes we live with parents with diagnosed mental health when we were younger. Sometimes parents with undiagnosed mental health. Both has an impact. And that's just some of the things that is included on the list. Or, for example, if you live in a home where you witness domestic abuse. And I also want to add here that if you're raising a child that has been sexually abused, or living in a home where you have experienced abuse and your children have witnessed it, that is considered traumatic for them. You might want to come to learn how to help the child that is traumatized. Or if you're the parent that you're going through or have been through separation or divorce, and your children have had to live through the effects of that, you might want to come to learn how to help the traumatized child. And whatever the ages of your children are, it will be helpful for you. Okay, so that's who the conference is for. So we predominantly work with adult survivors of childhood trauma or people who've experienced domestic abuse. And I thought I hope that list is explain a little bit more about who this is for. Now, one thing I must say before I tell you what you will get when you come is that don't be afraid to come. Sometimes people say to me, I want to come, but I don't want people to know that this is my experience. You don't have to share what your experiences have been. And one thing I always say is the ground is level at my events, because everybody's coming because they've experienced something. So the lady that you'll sit beside or the gentleman that you'll sit beside are there because they've experienced something and want to heal. So that's why they're there. So they're not going to be wondering why you're there. They're just going to be coming to get what they want for themselves. So what will you get from the retreat? So we work with people to help them to heal, get rid of toxic shame and fear and guilt, help them to not let cycles of rejection and abandonment repeat in their families. These things perpetuate through generations. If you look back at your family tree, or if you look back at, just do a diagram of your parents and your life and look at your children's life. These patterns repeat. And because we know and we live this experience every day as we walk the journey with people, that it's not just diabetes or migraine or any one of those things that repeats through generations. We know that patterns of pain perpetuate through generations, and generations are experiencing the same thing. So you will get the tools that will help you to begin to heal, release the pain, release the toxic shame, release the fear, learn how to set appropriate boundaries, learn how to spot unsafe people, learn how to say no without the guilt, learn how to connect God in a real and authentic way. One of the things people say to me as we work together is my relationship with God has gotten closer, because I know that this stuff, if left unresolved, impacts your relationship with Christ and your eternity is at risk. So you need to come to learn how to deal with that. Also, we'll be talking about codependency. and how we know that sometimes when we've experienced childhood trauma, that exists in marriages, and you're fighting about the thing that you're not really fighting about. You don't know what the argument is about. It can cause great conflict. Marriages have broken down that really could have been saved because we refuse to deal with the stuff that we've gone through. Now, we know that this is hard. We know that it's not the easiest thing. When I was healing, I thought it was written across my forehead and everybody could see it. But I know that I was judging me the hardest. Are you judging you hard? Figuring that if I go, it will be too uncomfortable. Who will know what they'll say? What I'll say is choose you. Make the decision to come to the conference. Sit under the tutelage and the training and the workshops of the people who are coming to pour into you, to give you tools that you'll be able to move on and deal with the depression and the anxiety in a completely different way. What we're hoping to do that day is to move you from one place to the next and give you tools for transformation that's going to last the rest of your life. I hope I'm going to see you there. Now, we have limited spaces, so it has to be first come, first serve. At the moment, while the early bird booking is happening, we have £5 off each person that book with 5 or more people. So if 5 or more of you book together, we will give you each person £5 off, but that ends at the end of January. So I'm encouraging you, book. I'm looking forward to seeing you there and saying hello. Take good care.